morning. Hello and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, Stock Sumo, and thanks for joining us on this freaky Friday, August 10th, 2012. You know what time it is, folks. It's time to top off your cup of coffee here with Stock Traders Talk as we get ready to rock and look through the markets. So open up your charts, turn on your scanners, and fire up those trading accounts. Joining us on this morning's program, we have Haas. What's up, dog?
Hey, Stock Sumo. How you feeling this Friday?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling live.
I heard you went to a football game last night. How'd that treat you?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad football is back.
Yeah, I'm not a huge football fan. I'm kind of a hockey buff, but I do enjoy watching football. So that's good. I don't know about the Buffalo Bills, but some of the better teams.
I've been enjoying the Olympics, though. That's where it's at. How about that? Congratulations to the U.S. women's soccer team for pulling it off in the gold medal championship round yesterday against Japan. Oh, yeah. They won 2-1. Awesome. I just like watching the Olympics. You know, they only come around once every 4 years. They're very enjoyable to watch. Love it. I like all sports, but my favorite time to watch them is when things get interesting and big stakes are on the line and, you know, they're in finals or championships. Like baseball, I mean, it's just it's too long of a season. I don't really like watching the games too much. I'm a Yankees fan. STT harps on me because he's always like questioning me about players and stuff. I don't really have time to watch the regular season like that. I'm too busy with stocks and other things. I like to watch during the playoffs. But hey,
Cool. You watching the PGA Championship at all?
no, I haven't. What's going on there?
Oh, I'm just looking at the leaderboard here. We got Carl Pedersen in position number 1 after the first day here. Shot -6. But Rory McIlroy close behind, -5, obviously a favorite. But as far as the rest of them go, there's some big names up at the leaderboard. But we got a lot of golf to play yet.
Cool.
I'm a big golfer. Although I never golf, so I guess I don't consider myself a big golfer anymore. But I love watching these the majors, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff there.
All right, man, let's roll into stocks.
All right, can I talk about the one that was hot yesterday that I caught on the pre-market scanner? And guess what? It's gapping up again today. That's AONE. A123 Systems. We identified this one yesterday. It saw a low of day yesterday at 51 cents. Ended up closing real strong yesterday. Let's take a look at the chart. You could see yesterday it closed real strong, right near the high of day. At one point, into the close, I saw it tick 62 cents, and it had passed this resistance at the 20-day moving average, which is at 61 cents. And it closed at that mark. So this morning it's already gapping up past that. I'm looking at this swing high of 88 cents right here as the next key resistance mark. And then after that, the next key resistance is going to be this 50-day moving average, which is at 97 cents, and the 100-day moving average, which is at $1.02. So a lot of room for this thing. If it can get some legs, there's a lot of room. These are the resistance points. I'm laying it out there. PPO, notice that's pinching right now, getting ready for a cross. That's looking good. The blue bars on the histogram just flipped over to the top side, to the bullish side. That's positive. And look at that RSI. It's climbing up and hitting that 50 MA overlay. I want to see it punch through that today and get above the 50 line. So AONE, definitely one were watching, and I ended up taking a position in it late in the day yesterday. I bought the break, got in at 57 cents, 57 and a half cents, and we keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were worried about this company going under there for a little while, as far as their financial situation goes. And then a couple days back, we brought the news. A123 Systems announces non-binding MOU with Wangjang Group Corporation for a strategic investment of $450 million. So that kind of trampled all fears of them not having the funding that they needed. Obviously, it's just a memorandum of understanding at this point, but you don't get a big Chinese funding group throwing that kind of money at a stock if they don't believe in it long term. So I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing this major turnaround for sure.
Cool. Hey, before you get into anything else, I just want to give a shout out to Massive Gains 10 on iHub and give his board a shout out. His board is called Bollinger Band Squeeze Trading. So if you want to check him out on iHub, just search for members, look for Massive Gains 10, and you can find out what boards he's moderating by looking at his profile, or you can just search for his board, Bollinger Band Squeeze Trading. And that's coming from Siffy. Siffy says, love everybody. Love, love, love. Love is the word of the day.
That's good stuff. Siffy always loves everybody. He's a happy-go-lucky trader. All right, let's move on to a couple other ones. Why don't we just check out the action from MDHI yesterday, since we've been covering it so much this week with the Spotlight and the CEO interview. Medical Alarm Concepts. Chart hanging up around this low 4 area. I was touching as high as 0046 again yesterday. It's touched that area around, 3 times in the last 3 days, and closed around the 004 mark the last 2 days. But the dollar volume steadily increasing. We're seeing some higher consolidation. Looks like it's kind of hanging on a shelf there. And if it breaks to the upside, it looks like it's got quite a bit of room to move. So we'll see what today brings in early next week. But one to keep your eye on, just checking out the dollar volumes here on DD Amanda. There's definitely some interest coming into the stock with the news they've been putting out and the changes they've been making. So put your eyes on it. All right, another one that we've talked about quite a bit on this show, and I kind of want you to pull up a chart on this one, Sumo, if you can. I know you'll love to pull up this chart anyways. SNDY. I think we did a little chart on this one around that 005 area for a little while, and she got real hot yesterday. She was sort of breaking out, creeping up a little bit, you know, the mid to low 005 area, and then yesterday just had a massive day. $313,000 traded on the stock to close up at 0081 near the high of day, which was 0083 from a close of 0051 the day before. No gap on the day, and I don't know, she's just looking primed to make one of her huge runs, you know, to a couple cents that she did a little while ago. What are your thoughts on that chart stock, Sumo?
Before I go to the chart, I want to give a shout out to somebody on iHub. They may not be listening. Joan Cool. They hit me up earlier this week. They asked me, hey, Sumo, do you mind breaking down SNDY chart for me? And when they hit me up, I told them, I'm like, well, the stock needs to hold above that 005 range, because that's where all the moving averages are pretty much all keyed in on. As long as it could hold 0051 support, I believe that's what I told them. And sure enough, she held, and yesterday had the big breakout. So, Joan Cool on iHub, congratulations, you were in there early. This thing did exactly what you guys wanted it to do, blew up for you, and right now we're at the next key resistance, which is at 008. That's the 100 DMA. Needs to hold above that. If not, it could come back and retest that support level at the 200-day moving average and the 50 and the 20, which are all sitting at 005. Looking at the PPO, these lines are starting to split apart. That's showing a good signal right there. And the blue bars on the histogram are stacking up to the positive side. The slow stow is trying to get up in the power zone here. So SNDY chart's looking really good. Notice that RSI is showing some strength as well. That's all the way up to 70. Looks like it's going to breach that 70 line. It's holding above the 50 MA overlay nicely and recently got above the 50 line, and it's holding strong. So good looking chart, Haas. Back to you. Must be on mute, kid.
I was on mute. Thank you very much. No, I was just looking at the news wire for Solo's endoscopy. They haven't really been putting out news for the last couple of weeks, so there might be something coming out in the near future here. If it's not earnings, it might be earnings that people are kind of speculating on. Companies been getting a lot of their products out in the market now, their surgical products and their endoscopy products. So one to keep an eye on, especially if they put out that quarterly and those numbers look pretty good. We know how these smaller bio and stocks can get a life of their own real quick. All right, let's go to Talon Therapeutics. We talked about this one quite a bit on the show as an FDA PDUFA date run-up play. They actually announced approval yesterday, early. They were supposed to get their decision on August 12th. That just goes to show that, the FDA can announce whenever they want. And they actually got approval, an early approval, for their Markibo leukemia treatment. And the stock didn't really respond at all. It was hanging around that $1 area at the time, and, it hopped up to $1.20 for a little while. Just shot up about 20% and then just started selling off, and it's kind of been hanging around this dollar area. Should be an interesting one to watch over the next couple of weeks. Talon Therapeutics, they have a nice phase 2 clinical pipeline as well. But frankly, I think the company's been diluting their stock quite a bit, raising funds, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did a private placement at much lower prices than what it closed at yesterday in the near future. All these smaller biopharmaceutical stocks need tons of money. And it's always a balance between, dilution and, the hype. With the speculation or approval. It's a balance of those three things. And sometimes it turns out that the company just likes money in their pockets a little more than they like their stock to go up in share price. And I think that's what we've been seeing here after it started dropping from that $1.70 area. A big fund maybe got significantly reduced shares through some sort of private placement and just started selling off. They don't really care about the drug. They don't care about its potential. They don't care about any sort of people that it will help. And they just want money in their pockets. So we'll see what it does today. Hopefully the company's done diluting, and hopefully this company can get back on track for a lot of people who probably bought that news yesterday. But it'll be an interesting one to watch. All right, let's move into a couple of news releases for the day. Check out ICPA, IC Places. This one closed at 1.4 cents yesterday. It looks like we have a very small amount of pre-market volume so far today. IC Places is pleased to announce the addition of 3 of Hollywood's top reality show producers to the company's board of advisors. The new members include Kel Boynton, Jason Bergenfeld, and Greg Jarosky. Steven Sambliss, CEO of IC Places, said, "A company is only as strong as the people behind it. As we move into the area of TV production, it became important to have a strong advisory team firmly in place to help guide us to create compelling shows of the highest quality. These 3 men have been pioneers in the area of reality TV and have created some of the most successful reality brands of the past decade." So it looks like adding some strategic management onto the board of directors for IC Places. Sebastian River Holdings, 000 Lotto stock, closed at 0005 yesterday. This one's been getting a little bit hotter recently, and they put out some news today. Let's check that out. Sebastian River Holdings, a diversified financial holding company today announced the company has entered into an LOI for acquisition of a publicly traded equity portfolio valued at $152,110 US. The equity purchase agreement, or EPA, is to be finalized in a definitive agreement within 30 days and subject to customary terms and conditions. This addition to our portfolio adds substantial balance and diversification to our debt holdings, with the purchase to be structured at a substantial discount, said Dan Benjamin, CEO. So, financial holding company, looks like they're trying to acquire an equity asset. Let's check out PDGO. Closed at 007 yesterday after its run to that 2-cent mark a little while ago. And again, Paradigm and Lighthouse, they have some joint ventures on some of the properties. So also LHPT, this news applies to. Recently, the Lighthouse Petroleum Incorporated and Paradigm Oil and Gas Incorporated have posted the following information on their website. The management of Paradigm Oil and Gas Incorporated has begun discussion with an independent private oil and gas producer in the United States. The objective is to purchase existing, proven production. Management's internal plan is to purchase up to 1,500 barrels a month in production. Management believes this would require Paradigm to purchase up to 25 wells with minimum production of about 2 barrels of energy per day. Management has also come to an agreement with the independent private oil and gas producer for 2 price points for acquisition of production. Looks like this little deal could provide an asset to Paradigm in the range of $40.5 million US if they're successful. So some nice little numbers flying around here. So I encourage you to go read the rest of that press release. Oil and gas, oil and gas. Doesn't get much hotter than that for a sub-penny stock. Let's go to a stock that woke up a little bit yesterday. I was actually going to mention this one yesterday because I was kind of going to watch for a bottom for a little while. I want to check out DD Amanda first. SAGD, S-A-G-D is the company. And the only thing I want to find out real soon is the actual share structure. They put out some press yesterday. This one, as you can see, they did some sort of merger or reverse merger a little while back in June. And they had $0 volume traded for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, like 3 massive days, but the share price is just getting crushed. So they're just literally diluting the piss out of this. Or there's some sort of large holder converting shares and just dumping it into the market, just hammering this stock down over the course of a couple months, slowly but steadily, and then, you know, right about here you get to the point where the conversions or the dilution is roughly done. But you got a lot of bag holders, and they get sick of the stock. There's really nothing going on with the company, no news, yada yada. It slowly just kind of sells off, and it is closing down near some new lows, hitting new lows at this 0016 the day before. And yesterday they put out news, so it had a little spike up to the 0029 area from the 0014 area last couple of days. Slightly higher trading volume compared to the previous couple of weeks. But it ended up closing at 0029 yesterday. So I just want to go check out that news. I can't guarantee that the dumping is done on this stock. I'm not a buyer quite yet. I'm going to watch it for the next little while and see if it keeps selling off like this, because there could definitely be some other toxic financing out there. But if it ends up going down to trips, who knows what can happen. So one I'm keeping an eye on to see where this bottom settles out. We've seen some of these smaller minor stocks kind of do this. You know, they start out at those higher prices, they do some sort of toxic funding, and then they just get hammered. They kind of settle out at that 001 area, and then they kind of go quiet for a little while, and then they have massive runs to Pennyland. Not saying that's what's going to happen here, but then I'm saying that it has that potential. So I'm just keeping my eyes on it and seeing kind of what it does, what sort of news they end up putting out here. Now let's just check out this news that they put out yesterday. South American gold ticker SAGD, is pleased to announce it has signed a binding memorandum of understanding to lease with option to purchase the Baltimore Silver Mine, a former producing silver mine in western Montana. The Baltimore Silver Mine is a former producing silver mine in an historic mining district located on private land in Jefferson County, Montana, at an elevation of approximately 5,800 feet above sea level. Looks like its history. The record production was 18,148 tons of ore, yielding 1,734 ounces of gold, 489 ounces of silver. Looks like that's using historic mining techniques, obviously, so might be able to be ramped up a little bit with modern mining techniques. So we'll see if they provide any more updates in the future on the actual purchase of the Baltimore Silver Mine. All right, let's check out another stock. It's been beasting lately. GTGP, just a little update on this one. Closed at 85 cents yesterday. And they put out some very significant news yesterday morning. Global Technologies Group Incorporated announces that the mercury removal percentage of 98% after only 16 hours of operation will continue to increase with the continuous insertion of the MBS chemicals to attain full saturation, and the data will be available for the full 24-hour period by this evening and will be reported tomorrow. So it looks like we're expecting another little update today. It is being monitored daily and verified by both the plant and MSE Technology Applications Incorporated. And if you remember the spotlight on this one a little while back, a key thing with this MBS technology is achieving that EPA benchmark. If they achieve that, then all other companies with these heavy metal remediation technologies are going to have to live up to that benchmark standard. It's basically top of the line technology, and you know the contracts are going to be coming this company's way. So like I said, this technology is rather revolutionary, and the potential size of the contracts that this company could be getting, provided they get that EPA benchmark and this testing is successful, absolutely phenomenal. And that's why we're seeing the share price respond as it has been over the course of the last few months. Let's just look at some of the dollar volumes this thing's getting. I mean, it's just been a beast lately. You see, the $20,000 days down here, and those are gradually moving into the $150,000 days. And this chart's just been a beast, hitting new highs weekly, and the dollar volume just continues to increase. $271,000 traded yesterday, closing up at 85 cents from a close at 63.5 the day before. Closed near high of the day, which was 87 cents. Level 2 is looking really good. Lots of bid support at all price points. A pretty thin stock relatively. There's a lot of long-term holders holding, the majority of the float. So that's another reason why we're seeing the share price move up so quickly when the dollar volume actually comes in and hits it. So love GTGP. All right, you got anything hitting your scanner this morning, Sumo?
Always got stuff hitting the scanner. But before I hit the scanner, let's talk about BBDA real fast. Got a couple people in the chat room inquiring about BBDA, wanting us to talk about the chart. So let's bring it up real fast. Notice first thing, the RSI in the power zone, holding up real strong in the power zone. Last time it was in the power zone, it had a tough time holding in there like it has this last run here. And RSI is holding firmly in that power zone. Notice the last time it was in that power zone, it came up, fell, but it's held above the 50 MA overlay this whole time. So we've seen the nice run up, consolidation, and then she's really been beasting, and it's been holding well above the 20-day moving average. So the stock has just been holding real strong. Lots of volume coming into the stock. So that's always a good sign, confirming our breakout pattern. And we got the slow stow that's looking like it's going south. I'd like to see this line turn around and go north. I'd like to see it hold above the 50 MA overlay, just like it did right back here in the middle of July, right around the July 18th. So PPO crossing over. These lines are starting to split apart. That's very bullish right there. And the blue bars on the histogram are positive. So I like the looks of this BBDA chart, and it's been performing very well. Had a little consolidation after hitting 0097. Almost broke that penny mark, but didn't quite make it over it. Found support around 005 range, and it's been hitting higher lows off of that support, so it's looking good. Now let's go over to the scanner, and I wanted to bring up Jones Soda. I saw this one, JSDA. Where is it at here? Here it is. JSDA is 32 by 36 cents. Last traded at 37 cents. It's up 16% pre-market on 7 trades, and that's over 23,000 shares in volume. And I was just taking a quick peek of the chart. Let's pull it up real fast. Jones Soda's coming off of a bottom here of 26 cents, and it's been making higher lows and higher highs off of this recent bottom. So I'm thinking that this JSDA, it's gapping up this morning. If it can pass above this 100-day moving average at 36.1 cents, so it traded at 37 cents pre-market, this could get some legs. It's on light volume so far. Notice this is a thinly traded stock. The most it's traded back here in May was close to 1 million shares. But looks like it's coming off a bottom. I like how it's turning up off that bottom. Yesterday it got above the 20-day and the 50-day, closing above both of them. And today you see it gapping up. So we always like to see these stocks get above their moving averages. Notice the RSI is above that 50 MA overlay. It's also getting above the 50 line. The PPO is starting to look good as well. That's getting above the 50 MA overlay. And the blue bars on the histogram are stacking up. And the slow stow is above the 50 line and looks like it's trying to get up into the power zone. So I want to keep an eye on JSDA from here. That's Jones Soda Company. All right, let's go to the penny scanner real fast because the market just opened up. Let's see what's hitting it. VNDB 34 by 35, 350,000 shares in volume. AONE 67 cents up right now. AONE gapped up and really moving strong.
Got Talon Therapeutics starting off pretty decent today, actually. Opened up at $1.04, closed at 98 cents yesterday. Again, they had the drug approval yesterday. It's $1.05 by $1.07 right now, up 9.2%. Last traded $1.07, 54,000 in volume out of the gates. SNDY, 300,000 shares traded so far. Looks like decent bid support at 008 and above. Current spread is 0084 by 0085. Last traded 0084, up 3.7%. Looks like it gapped a little bit. Closed at 0081 yesterday. Looks like it's going to fill that gap, 0081 on the bid. And it got taken out. We got some whackers coming. Going red. AAPT, big news yesterday about popping into the largest drugstore chain in the United States. Looks like it's holding steady, slightly above 2 cents, 2.1 cent by 2.12 cent spread right now. 49,000 share bid on 2.1 cents. 40,000 shares traded so far in the day. As the 49,000 share gets whacked out. 1.9 by 2.1 cent spread. KMEG kind of hanging out at this 1.2 cent area. 1.24 by 1.25 spread. 388,000 shares traded.
GYST, that's one we've never discussed before. It was hitting my scanner yesterday. It's Greystone, 0055 by 006. It's up 12% on 1.8 million shares.
Yeah, level 2 looks really good on that one. 005 by 0052 spread right now. Well, 5-1 spread. Then it hops to 0055. Got about 500,000 shares sitting on the bid at 005. 2.29 million shares traded, up 6.1%.
AONE was as high as 68 cents. They dipped it to as low as 63.5 cents. It's back to 66.6 cents. 0.666.
That's scary right there.
Yeah.
Sell! Got BBDA, 7.7 million shares traded so far today. This one actually gapped down. It closed yesterday at 0085. I don't know if that was some just weird order that went through or not, but 0078 by 0079 spread right now. This is right where it opened up. Low of the day 0078, high of the day 0079. Bid support looks like it's slightly increasing on that 0077 mark. Trying to figure out what it wants to do for the day. Currently last traded 0078, which is down 8.2%. But again, this is where it gapped down to and opened up at for the day, so who knows? Got another bidder stepping in on the 0078 there.
WRAP, wrap. We saw this one yesterday. It was at promo play. It had a big day yesterday. It's up again today, 20%. Last trade at 13.5 cents.
Yeah, that one. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add that I think they put out more news this morning to coincide with that promo as well.
It looks like AONE wants to test new high a day here soon. It's up to almost 67 cents.
That Wrap CEO was part of a forum. I still am part of the forum, but I don't check it out too often. MyStockBuddy.com. And he actually started a board for Wrap on there. So I've actually conversed with him and, you know, his business plan and stuff. But I don't know if he's bringing in revenues yet. His initial business plan didn't involve revenues. It involved giving his little Wrap emailers away for free. So if he starts bringing revenues on that, I mean, the idea is fantastic.
Yep, AONE just passed that's the high of day. New high of day up, 68.8 up. So, nice runner there.
TLON rolling through high of day at $1.14. 113 by 114 spread, up 15.3% on the day. 176,000 shares traded. SNDY looks like it dipped and filled that gap, and now it's got some nice bid support on the 008. Four market makers sitting there. Spread 008 by 0085. 1.4 million shares traded. There we got a bidder stepping up on the 0081. Got some nice bid support there down in the 007s as well, looks like. AAPT, really nice bid support on the 2 cent mark there. Got about 85,000 shares. Ask side looks pretty thin. 2 cents by 2.1 right now. Your Greystone has 1.1 million on the 005. Level 2 on the ask looks super thin. 0051, 5,000 showing through E-Trade, and then it jumps to 0065. 4 million shares traded on that one now.
AONE Beastin. New high a day up. 71.7 is the high a day. Apple just busted a little move here. I was trying to time these calls. Took my eye off the prize for a second. I wanted to get in at $1.60. They just shot up to $2. The 620 weekly calls. Yep, missed that one. Gonna have to wait for the pullback. Now they're at 215. I got my thing all set, queued up, ready to pull the trigger, and I just didn't do it. I was looking at AONE hit new high a day.
GYST busting through that resist. Well, I don't know if I'd call it resistance, but 0054 by 006 spread now. Volume coming into the upside, let's just call it that. But it did touch 007 briefly after the open. Looks like it gapped from 0049 to 0066. So I'm not sure if there was either news or if a group's on it or what, but 0055 by 006 spread right now.
Ooh, AONE just busted. 74 cents is up now. Love this. I love this one. Great volume. Love the Momo behind it.
Yes, sir. That one can make major run. Who knows? Anytime you get a fund looking to invest that sort of money, you get the fund wanting to ramp up the common shares of stock too. So who knows? GYST, really nice catch there on the scanner. Sumo 006 by 0064 now. Bidder stepping up on the 006. 5 million shares traded.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it yesterday. I just didn't catch it in time. I saw it hitting the scanner. I forgot to mention it traded some good volume yesterday, and you know, maybe it wasn't even during the show that it hit the scanner. It might have been afterwards, but nevertheless, it had the Momo yesterday, started to break out, made the big move, and today it's just continuing its run.
Yeah, this one's kind of a funky one. I think I've seen it on the breakout boards a few times, but only for one day, and then it just kind of drifts away. But it's looking good today.
Yeah, it's actually up to number 4 spot on the scanner. 52 trades on the day. We like seeing stocks that have increased volume and liquidity. It's easy for entry and exits. So good looking catch on the old scanner tip. The scanner never fails.
Yeah, this is another one where you can kind of see what happened on DD Amanda. This thing was up at near $1 a little while ago, and then all of a sudden you get massive dilution convertibles just hammering it down, slowly drifting to sub-penny levels, kind of settles out at 002, and now we're starting to see it creep back up, whether the dilution is done or the convertibles, done. But we've had a couple of nice green candles in a row here on some higher volume, and it looks like it's breaking out. So you could just be right.
All right, yeah. AONE just beast mode in it. Up, hit a high a day of 77 cents. Right now it's at 76.78 cents. JNS also hitting the scanner. Didn't talk about that one this morning. 17% gain on the day. Traded over 2.3 million shares in volume. Last traded at $9.
BBDA loves this 0077 to 0078 area. Still hanging here. 10 million traded now. SNDY. Level 2 improves every time I look at it. 0085 is going now, 1.7 million shares traded, so not the massive volume quite yet, but a couple market makers on 0082, couple right under them at 0081, and 3 under them at 008. So looks like it was just filling that gap early on, and now she's forming some nice support. Looks like KMEG selling off a little bit. 1.2 by 1.24 cents spread. Last trade at 1.19 cents. Losing bid support. Let's see if it holds. HBRM, they put out some news yesterday related to their sex-infused Kama Sutra vodka. But just kind of hanging around this 003 area. We're not seeing the hype that we saw on its first major run. Wrap still responding pretty well to the news. Hit a high of 15.5, 12.4 by 14.3 cent spread right now. 339,000 shares traded. About 50,000 at bid support at 12.4 cents. Not necessarily a fan of that gap again on promotion.
MCET, Michael Charlie Eddie Tango. It's up 20% on 3 million shares in volume. Last traded at, what was it? 0018?
Yep. Yeah, they had some this morning. I had it on my list if we got to it, so we may as well go check that out since it's responding. I think it's related to some clinical trials. It's like Multicell Technologies, Inc. is pleased to announce the updated preclinical research results for MCT 465 and MCT 485. They showed in vitro dose effect cytotoxicity on several human hepatocellular carcinoma cell lines, aka it kills cancer cells. It induced, yeah, then the rest of that is, if you're sciencey, go read it. If you're not, don't. But preclinical stage, so if they're successful at this stage, they can potentially move into some human trials. So positive news there for MCET. Double 02's just got taken out. 002 by 0021 now. Last trade 002 up 33.3% on the day. 4.2 million shares traded so far.
Apple $600, 620 calls dipped to the 160 range again. Apple fell below 620. Looks like it wants to go back above 620 here. Those 620 calls were as high as $2.20. Currently they're $1.79, $1.81. They were just around $1.69, $1.65 range. I picked up 2 contracts at $1.65 actually.
So GPXM, Golden Phoenix Minerals, is getting a little bit of action. Last trade at 1.49 cents, up 12.9% on 400,000 shares traded. Put out an 8K related to a property acquisition.
Wow, MSET volume just doubled. It went from 3 million to over 6 million, and now 0023s are up.
There was a couple of big orders that went through for million plus shares, so she's looking good. Definitely some interest coming in here. 0022 by 0023 now. Ask side looks pretty thin after this 0023 mark. 6.5 million shares traded now, up 53.3%. BBDA, nice bidder stepping up on the 0077, 2.68 million shares sitting there. The ask side looks pretty thin, 008 at least, or 00, yeah, 008, I'm sorry. SNDY, still moving up. Love this level 2 screen. 4 market makers on 0085 bid right now, 0088 on the ask, big hits coming through. 3.7 million shares traded now. Over 1 million shares sitting on the bid at 0085. Couple market makers not showing size on that 0085 bid, which is always nice when it's toxic market makers that are usually sitting on the ask. 0086 by 0088 spread right now. Ask side looks really thin. She's some mover. Looks like Show might be getting some action this morning as well. Let's check that out. Got it. It's on promotion. Up 8.1%. 2 million shares traded. Last trade 004. So not that much action actually. Bidder stepping up on the 0086 mark now for SNDY. 86 by 8 spread. Orders going through under the bid. Love to see that too. I don't know. We might have a short on SNDY. Who knows? Do you believe in those shorts in Pennyland stock, Sumo?
Oh, anything's possible. You never know. Never know what the market makers and their dirty tricks are up to. I'll tell you what, though. The Renew bid is looking a little bit better today. Notice day in, day out, things have been looking better and better.
MSET. 10 million shares traded now. Oh, just lost bid support at the 002 area. $10 million in volume now, though, so it's definitely some interest here. 0018 by 0023 spread.
TLON is bouncing back here. It's almost back to the high of day. It's $1.12 by $1.13, up 15% today almost.
Yeah, she's looking good right now. I think people are starting to realize that a 20 million market cap for a stock with a leukemia treatment approved and a pretty good phase 2 pipeline should probably have a higher market cap. But we'll see what sort of dilution or private placements they end up doing here. They will need to raise some money to produce and market that product. There's some bidders stepping up for MCET. Got 1 million shares on the 002 now. 0021 PERT sitting there, not showing size. 0023 ask. A couple of nice taps there. 0024 is the high day, which is up on the ask now. 0023 by 0024 spread. Up to 11 million shares traded. Well, I don't know, man. What do you say we call it an early show? Let these people get on with their weekends. Got some trading to do.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. And as always, thanks for tuning in. And we'll be back at it Monday morning.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Cheers. STT Live. We're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.